So will Antonio Brown have a big impact in Super Bowl 55? Well, it's interesting. And so I figured I'd go back, watch some Week 12 tape, and talk about what he was able to do well. He didn't have a huge statistical day, but he did have his moments. So like on this one, I think this is, it's a play I've shown before in one of my videos, but I think it's a really key play in talking about how Antonio Brown might end up having a big day. Is one of the things Kansas City loves to do is they love to blitz, and one of the ways that they like to blitz is they typically have their safeties kind of play very close. You know, you see how their two safeties, you know, they have two safeties on this play, but they're so much closer to the line of scrimmage than most safeties will be, and also a lot closer to the middle of the field. Which means that one of the advantages is that you can have maybe a cornerback blitz, and now you have just the safety pick up the player who the cornerback was, showing as though he was covering. In this case, you have a safety who's going to be covering Antonio Brown. So I do think that this could be something that maybe, something that you could see Tampa Bay taking advantage of. Yes, Tyrann Mathieu is great. Tyrann Mathieu is still a safety, and him trying to cover Antonio Brown one-on-one is very difficult, and it's just not something that, it's a tough situation for him to be in. Brown is going to end up getting open on this play. Brady throws it to Evans, who was also open, but there was just a miscommunication. But I do think that that's something that I think Brady will look towards more, because also, let's be honest, getting the ball in Antonio Brown's hands in open space is a better situation than in Mike Evans' hands. Mike Evans is great at getting the ball, great at red zone, all that stuff, not as good with yards after the catch as AB is. I want to show this play now. So the reason I want to show this play is I find it interesting. You have Antonio Brown, who's as a halfback here. He didn't start off that way. He was lined up as a receiver. Then Brady called him over to a halfback. This is the 3rd down and 3, so they're kind of hoping that maybe they could potentially get like a safety to cover him. Again, trying to get that favorable matchup with their number 3 receiver, who's also maybe the best receiver of the past 10 years, which is just weird how this Tampa Bay team has been built. Now, Brady takes a snap. There's a blitz that isn't really picked up, and this play doesn't end up working. So who cares? I mean, well, could be interesting. You could see this kind of thing happen again. But what's very interesting is this isn't the first time Tom Brady has done this type of thing against this type of defense. Let's show this play now. While Steve Spagnuolo wasn't there in 2011, I still think that this is just a great example of showing that, this is something that I find interesting. It's a similar defense to the Steve Spagnuolo defense that the Giants were running. And in the halfback position, it's another player who has had some off-the-field issues, although amazingly his were a lot worse than Antonio Brown's. It's, Aaron Hernandez. And, I find this play from a football standpoint incredibly interesting, especially because you look at the situation. For one thing, this is 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter of a 2-point game in the Super Bowl, but also it's a 3rd down and 3, the exact same situation. And if you remember, Week 12, that was kind of the first week that we really saw Brady get a heavy hand of the playbook. I just have to think this is Brady remembering what worked in 2011 and implementing it in 2020. So who knows? We might see it in the Super Bowl. I actually think that there's a really good chance we could see something like that in the Super Bowl, especially because of how it worked out in this Super Bowl. Brady takes the snap. He's going to make this throw. Hernandez makes the grab. And again, he was against a linebacker, which was the advantage there. They got the matchup that they wanted. And in that game, they were trying to get a matchup against a linebacker pretty much the whole game. And, with Aaron Hernandez, because safeties were able to kind of cover him, linebackers weren't. But anyways, let's go back to Week 12. Let's talk about this play now. So again, like I said, he didn't have a huge statistical day, but he had his moments. This is a 3rd down and 1, and Tampa Bay is currently down 17-0 in the midway through the 2nd quarter. So they really need to get some offense going, and it would come through Antonio Brown. It's zone coverage, but Brown, running a quick route towards the sideline. It's essentially just a one-on-one matchup. Brady takes the snap, and you notice what I love about Antonio Brown is just he moves so smoothly. I don't think there's a single player in the league who just moves, it is video game-like movement, the way he can just change directions, like it's nothing. He's kind of running as though he could sort of, maybe be going further up, and obviously, as we know, he's going to just cut basically, 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. But watch how he does it. See what I mean? It's just so smooth, and he's able to pick up the 1st down. Only a 2-yard gain, not the biggest deal on the stat sheet, but a huge deal in terms of how important that was in the game. One thing I could see Antonio Brown doing would be something like this, where what's going to happen on this play is it's going to be, it's a quick screen pass to Brown. Evans runs out and blocks, and then Brown makes the grab and just, runs for as many yards as possible. And again, like I said, Kansas City, they like to mix things around. They like to blitz. If you get situations where there's only one defensive back in the area and you can get the ball into Antonio Brown's hands, and oh, by the way, you have Mike Evans blocking in front of him, who, he blocks like a tight end, and then you have Gronkowski, who blocks like a tackle. So maybe he could be out there on some of these plays too. But this is a great situation for Tampa Bay, and something that I imagine there will be some sort of audible call, if there wasn't in this game, to just, try to get these situations, take advantage of these situations if you see them. The ball is snapped, quick throw to Brown. He's going to gain 9 yards on this play. Again, nothing wild, and there was a good tackle that prevented the first down, but it was on first down. So you'll take 9 yards on first down 10 out of 10 times, unless you're down 7 with 1 second left and you're at the 10-yard line. And one last play. Let's show this one. This is another example of him getting open despite the fact that the ball didn't come to him. It's a cover one play, one-on-one matchup for Brown. And that's the thing is, for the Chiefs, they're going to play a lot of man coverage. They are. That's just what they like to do. And, when they played zone last time, they were not good at it. So playing man coverage makes a lot more sense. And for Tampa Bay, having Mike Evans go up one-on-one against Bashaud Breeland, that's a tough matchup. Breeland's really good. Breeland's a guy who, he's that true number one corner, so it is a difficult matchup. But when you have Charvarius Ward going up one-on-one against Antonio Brown, like you have on this play, that's a much better matchup. And Ward's not bad by any means, but just, we're now getting a better matchup for Tampa Bay. Anyways, watch how once this play starts, Brown sort of starts to run, and you notice how Ward he turns his hips very far to the outside. He knows he has help over the middle, and so he's trying to protect the fade route, really. But this is just, it's tough. And I think Ward would also like to not allow Brown to get to the inside, which is another thing he's trying to do. Just physically, Brown would kind of have to run through him. But like I said, Brown's footwork is incredible. He cuts on a dime and uses his hands to give himself more separation without pushing off. Mike Evans got open and got a touchdown, so, no harm, no foul there. But definitely Brown was open, and it kind of shows that he could get open in the future. I could absolutely see Brown in Super Bowl 55 having a big role. I wouldn't be shocked to see him have like 8 catches in this game. I really wouldn't. Sometimes in these games, you see that the opposing defenses go after the top guys. I talked about how I think Sammy Watkins might actually have a huge role because Tampa Bay is going to take so much, try to take Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce away as much as they can. For Tampa Bay, it could be similar. You could see Mike Evans and Godwin getting extra attention, which could could open the door for Antonio Brown. So yeah, it should be interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.